In this video, I'm going to go over what cybersecurity specialization is best. The three main domains I'm going to go over is governance, risk, and compliance, the blue team, and the red team, and I'll be going over different job titles within these three different domains, which skills are the most useful, which cybersecurity certifications are, and what exactly the stress level is of each one of these domains. I do have a step-by-step guide that will walk you through on how to gain practical experience within governance, risk, and compliance below. You can check that out, and it's totally free. So check that out, and let's get started. So what exactly is governance, risk, and compliance, or GRC? So this is a side of cybersecurity that makes sure that the security decisions are documented, defensible, and meeting that industry's regulations. A lot of what they do is they write policies, they create risk registers, they prep for different audits and lead audits, and then they make sure that the business leaders understand the technical terms and what exactly means, but in a business context and not so much a technical context. This is the backbone of cybersecurity. Without this, the technical side would just be the Wild West. What exactly is the blue team? So blue team is the defensive side of cybersecurity. So there are people that are watching and responding to different attacks. The red team is the one who simulates the attack, and the blue team is the one who responds. Red team is basically the offensive side, and these are the people paid to pretend to be like attackers. But there are tons and tons of other jobs that are not this. So some common governance, risk, and compliance roles would be a GRC analyst, a cybersecurity manager, a chief information security officer falls underneath governance, risk, and compliance. You have a cybersecurity auditor. For the blue team, some really common job titles are SOC analyst, incident response is really big and a great starting place. You have identity access management. I would say that falls under the defensive side. A lot of jobs will fall underneath the defensive side. You have a detection engineer, you have a threat hunter. For the red team, common job titles here are penetration tester, red team operator, vulnerability assessor, ethical hacker, or like purple team. Now, in terms of do you need to know coding for governance, risk, and compliance, or the blue team and the red team? And the answer is you need to know no coding for governance, risk, and compliance. Blue team, no coding, maybe basic scripting skills. But honestly, with Claude and ChatGPT, you don't even really need to know that. And then red team, it can be useful, but most of the time you're not really going to be utilizing coding at all. So you don't need to know coding. Which cybersecurity certifications are best for each one of these? For governance, risk, and compliance, probably the most well-known is the CISP, CISSP. There's also ISACA CISM and then ISACA CISA for auditors. So these three are the main governance, risk, and compliance certification. Now for the blue team, I would say there's not really any, until you get into GOC certifications, there's not really any good certs to teach you blue teaming. The most common entry-level cybersecurity is definitely CompTIA Security Plus. So I would suggest that for any three of these. But other than that, yeah, not that many. Also for the red team, there's not really any really good certifications for that. It's more like the more specialized you get, like the less type of certifications there are, which makes sense because the audience for that isn't very high, except for DIAC, and DIAC courses are about $10,000. Usually people get their employers to pay for it. I wouldn't necessarily pay for it out of pocket unless you knew you were getting reimbursed. In terms of stress, the most stressful one would probably be the blue team, especially if you're working in incident response, which is frontward facing. You're basically responding to different incidences, so it's definitely first responder type of stress. And then I would say red teaming. This is not really reactionary, so you're probably using a lot more creativity in this class. It's probably a lot more problem solving. So here I would say you're probably not stressed, and you might even like what you are doing a lot because it's a lot of fun if you like puzzles and logic and things of that sort. And I would say the very least stressful one is governance, risk, and compliance. And that's because it's kind of like above the IT team in a sense that the IT team really kind of answers to security in a lot of different ways. And it's not really based on how many tickets you're doing, but it's more based on policy, procedure, and enforcing the rules. If you are someone who just wants to not be stressed out all the time, governance, risk, and compliance might be for you. Also, another thing to note is technical side changes a lot. So you're going to be constantly learning new things, and that the shelf life of your skills is not that long. I would say 3 years. For governance, risk, and compliance, the shelf life of your skill set is 5 to 10 years, which means you can become better at governance, risk, and compliance over time, and then command higher pay. Where the technical team, you're always learning something new, and then technology changes, and then you have to learn a new technology, and then you're starting over again and again throughout your career. Now, for the different types of skills for governance, risk, and compliance roles, you're probably going to need to know risk assessments and how to score those, how to build a risk register, regulatory, how to read regulatory readings. Also, you're going to need to do policy writing and being able to take defense. And if you go on the auditor side, you're going to need to know how to audit and then different standards that go along with that, along with technology stacks. Now, people think you don't need any technology skills for governance, risk, and compliance. Maybe that's true, but you do need technology knowledge and how it applies to the regulations that you have to follow. Because if you don't understand that, then you can't really enforce the rules that well, and that can be a huge issue. The red team is the most technical, and you need a solid understanding of network fundamentals, system fundamentals, web application security, scripting, and then also you need to know the MITRE ATT&CK framework, FERP suite, and Nmap, and this is by far the most technical of the jobs. Now for blue team, this is log analysis and recognition, so familiar with things such as the Security Information Event Manager or Splunk, and you need to know basics of networking, maybe even Wireshark, but these are the most entry-level roles, and here's like where a SOC analyst and an incident responder live. These are the most two entry-level types of roles that you can get out of all three of these domains. So a lot of people will start at the blue team. Now, as for salaries, I would say it really just depends. You can make over $150,000 in any three of these domains once you get more experience. But I'm going to say the highest paid careers are within governance, risk, and compliance. Like a CISO, a Chief Information Security Officer, can make upwards of $1 million, $500,000, $200,000, $300,000 isn't uncommon. Whereas to make that type of money in the blue team or the red team takes an incredible amount of skill and many years along with a lot of luck. So the chances are you won't make $200,000 to $300,000 in the blue team or the red team ever. So governance, risk, and compliance does have the highest paying role. But the answer is like all of these can be boring. So governance, risk, and compliance out of these does, in terms of when you become more senior, you can make a lot more in GRC than you can the red team and blue team. In terms of which roles are the most difficult to land between these three, and the answer is the red team is a lot more difficult because a lot of people want to work the red team because it's really attractive and fun, and you kind of have this prestige to it. And I would say the blue team is the easiest because it's the most entry level of these three. And the best two starting points are incident response and as a SOC analyst tier 1. As for GRC, it's moderate. This is usually best for people who are changing their career, who already work in professional types of jobs, or they work on the IT team. It's not really the best if you have absolutely no experience. And in terms of AI automation, all three are going to have AI automation. So what you will do on a day-to-day basis will 100% change, but it's not going to automate all of the jobs, right? It might automate functions that are done today, but more functions will be created later on. 100 years ago, everyone was working on cars and they were mechanics for carriages. And now everyone is a mechanic for cars. And there aren't many carriage mechanics. But the concept of fixing things and fixing transportation things, and it's the same for IT security. So basically, IT security, there's still going to be things that need to be secured. So in terms of are these jobs shrinking or growing with AI or even without AI, all three of these are growing. You can make a really good living with all three of them. You're not picking a shrinking field by any means. GRC is actually projected to grow even more because the industry regulations are increasing so much. Blue team is probably going to increase also because AI is now going to be driving a lot more attacks. So the need for more blue team is going to go up also. And also red team is also going to increase, but this is going to be an increase for people with more skill. Currently, a lot of red teamers just run vulnerability scans like Burp Suite and stuff, but for people who can actually find exploits, is going to grow a lot. Now, where can you work with each one of these? So governance, risk, and compliance shows up a lot in really large bureaucratic organizations because a lot of the job is bureaucratic. Also, blue team skews towards people who can run their own security operations center, so mid to large companies, with a lot of consulting companies also in this realm. So yeah, there's tons and tons of opportunities, and red team are usually working at usually they're not in-house, but they work at like a consulting company and they go to different companies to do different types of red team assessments. I do have a step-by-step guide that will walk you through on how to gain practical experience within governance, risk, and compliance below. And also I have tons of other videos if you want to check those out.